Hello, viewers. Today I am going to be talking about how to cook water and basically ionize it with copper. Some of you may not know why anyone would want to do that. Peradventure you have heard about people ionizing water with things such as silver and gold, which is very interesting. However, in sooth, most of us cannot afford gold or silver. Excuse me. Not to mention that, especially in regard to silver, there are some particular toxic, it is more dangerous, I will put it that way, to ionize really anything with silver, in comparison with copper. Now, with gold, I do not know. However, I would say out of all of these things that you may want to ionize water with, I would say copper is the safest. Copper maketh a good deal of sense because there are many, you can find copper in prune juice. You can, they used to use copper pipes a long time ago in houses. So basically, let us get started. Now first, basically, let us start this discussion with why you should cook your water. Some of you are probably thinking, what am I even talking about? Basically, what I mean is boiling your water. This is what I mean when I say cooking the water. So this is from Pliny. He was some type of Roman historian. And basically, he saith, it was the Emperor Nero's invention to boil water and then enclose it in glass vessels and cool it in snow, a method which ensures all the enjoyment of a cold beverage without any of the inconveniences resulting from the use of snow. Indeed, it is generally admitted that all water is more wholesome when it hath been boiled, as also that water, when it has been heated, will become more intensely cold than before. A most ingenious discovery. So basically, this continues, and oh goodness, I highlighted too much. I do have this in book format on my other computer, but I didn't decide to give myself that PDF by using a flash drive to export it, so I just went to a website and decided to read Pliny's book on this. I do usually like to use PDF format when I read sections of a book. That is a lot better. But I need to clean a lot of things on this computer and just sort of make it more accessible for me. But anyhow, the best corrective of unwholesome water is to boil it down to 1/2. Cold water taken internally arrests hemorrhage apparently by keeping water. Alright, this is something about how you keep yourself, something that should be done with a hot bath, but we're not talking about hot baths. We're mainly talking about why you should boil water. Basically, Pliny, in this particular section of, one of these historical books in which he had written, is talking about how ice water and other particular forms of water were considered to be damaging or not particularly optimal for health. And so apparently the Emperor Nero, despite being a very, murderous person, he did like to basically boil his water, and if there was snow, he would have that water placed in glass vessels and put out into the snow so that it could cool. And this is excellent when you think about just how effective that is. So there is a tradition of boiling water, of cooking your water. Whether we're talking about the Greek traditions, their thoughts. Oh, hello. Oh, goodness, it's Jazz. Hello, Jazz. Okay, hi, Jazz. Okay, of course, I'm not going to tell anybody on this website who you are, but hello, Jazz. I want to keep privacy on this live stream, but basically, I am talking about why you should cook your water and put it in a copper vessel. That is what this video is about. Okay? So, there's a reason you should boil your water. Basically, it kills bacteria, but also in certain people seem to think it gives the water a lighter quality. All right? So basically, you can read this article if you want, but basically the idea is that if you boil the water, it sort of changes the quality of the water, and who knows how it does that, but for whatever reason, boiled water tastes different. That's the first thing that should be done, is to boil the water, to cook the water. And the next thing to take into account, is what to put the water in. Now, the Emperor Nero, apparently he put the water in glass vessels. But another thing to keep in mind is copper and silver ionization. And if you have enough money, I suppose you could do gold ionization too. But not many people are going to be using golden cups to ionize the water in. Gold apparently is antibacterial too, and in all likelihood has some manner of ionization. Who can say? But I'm pretty sure that it does. It has some type of effect upon the water. But for most of us, we will be using copper, and for a variety of reasons, copper is better. Silver is more toxic. I do not know about gold, but I know silver, for whatever reason, you will have more problems with silver. Some people really like silver. Some people even get particular devices to implant an electrical charge in water, which is being basically in a silver vessel, or even with silver rods that they put in the water. They ionize the water with silver that way. But as far as I'm concerned, and from what I've read and from what certain people have said, apparently silver has all types of complications. Copper can have complications too if you drink too much. Copper ionized water, if you let the water sit too long in copper. However, if you let the water sit for about 8 hours, maybe even 9 or 10 hours, it is not so bad. That is pretty good. Should you boil it first? Yes, you should, but you should not pour the boiling water into a copper vessel immediately. If you pour the boiling water into a copper vessel immediately, what will happen is that you will get far too many copper ions. And in all likelihood, if you're using silver, you will get far too many silver ions. Certain people who have had copper poisoning have skin discoloration, in which the skin becomes blue or gray, which is not so bad. The main problem is that it can also affect the color of the eyes. And personally, I do not recommend it. I mean, and not too many people really have the money to literally do silver ionization. So copper ionization is as simple as just taking the water and putting it in a copper vessel for about 5 or, basically 8 hours, I would say, is a good time. So what it does is it disinfects the water because the copper ions, it kills bacteria. So apparently they say this has been going on for over 5,000 years. So copper apparently is easily available. I mean, this has been going on for a long time. I would say for certain, copper is certainly more reliable than silver. If you want something to put your water in for a few hours, basically to change the properties of the water so that you can drink more water. Basically, the water tastes different if you put it in copper, especially if you boil it beforehand, let it cool down, and then put it in copper and allow that water to stay in that copper vessel for about 8 hours, if not more than 8 hours. All right? This is very good. I mean, I do it. I have never done copper before, but enough people have, I've never done silver before, but enough people have complained about silver that, frankly, I would not want to try to ionize my water with silver. Some people do it. Personally, I think that seems kind of stupid, and I am not planning to do it. But as I said, you can, learn about, this particular medical tradition too. But personally, it is very easy to find Ayurvedic books, but this is something that has been known about for a long time all over the world. Boiling water, as well as putting water into copper vessels. Some people want to drink more water. However, they really do not like the taste of water. There's something about it. Water seems heavy to them. There's something about the water. Who can say what it is? But for some reason, once you boil water and once you put it in a copper vessel, even if you just boil water, the water tastes different. But if you put it in a copper vessel, even if you don't boil it, it tastes different. Now, when you put water into a copper vessel, you really do not receive very much copper in the water. But how it works is that you get just a little bit of copper go into the water, and for some reason the water tastes fresher. It's very interesting. But I would say that you could spend a decent price on it. On certain vessels. It depends on how big you want to get it. For whatever reason, copper is pretty expensive for the most part, but silver is far more expensive. So to be honest, you're saving your money by just buying copper. And plus, silver does not have many advantages over copper. And if you're drinking out of gold, I guess, personally, silver and gold, they're not really needed. All you need is a copper vessel. All you need to know is just basically how to, what temperature of water you should use to put in that copper vessel. So basically, you'll have your boiled water, and after that, you'll want to let that water cool, and then put it in the copper vessel. To be honest, that's what you'll do. So it's not as though it is really that difficult, but what the result will be is copper ionized water that has been boiled. Copper kills bacteria, and boiling water also kills bacteria. So what you are left with is water that has basically been cleansed 2 times. And so for whatever reason, the water is charged with copper ions and it's boiled. And boiled water has a lighter quality to it. And it tastes a certain way. So, as I said, you won't want to put that water in hot. You will want to have that water cooler. Okay? You won't want to have it terribly hot, but basically room temperature or even cool or even cold is good enough. To be honest, I mean, if you need to, I mean, you could put it in a refrigerator. You could put it in the freezer. Okay? You could do a variety of things. But anyhow, I mean, this is a different way to drink water. Some people, for whatever reason, they find it very hard to drink water, but if you drink it ionized with copper, and if you boil the water, personally, and I can speak from experience, it helps digestion. It helps, I mean, with a number of problems, skin problems, for example, because that liquid is essentially cleansed, and the same water that you drink is going to basically go throughout your whole body, sort of build up blood and other fluids in your body. So, personally, I think it's a very good way to basically drink more water. So if you did not know that you could ionize water with copper, or that you could just boil the water as well, and that it will be more palatable, you can. So anyhow, during this live stream, I did not have very much to talk about. Jazz, thank you for coming. Yes. Eventually, I want to do more live streams where I have something more to talk about. But unfortunately, tonight I just wanted to do a live stream in which I talked about basically having cooked copper ionized water. So anyone with a copper vessel can do that. If it's a copper cup or bigger copper pot or copper water bottle, you can basically have a very unique and very refreshing beverage. And it is, for the most part, something that you will not have to apply very much effort in at all. Wait, let me see. Is this on Top Chat or is this on Live Chat? Oh, here we go. Oh, thank you, Jazz. Yes. Sometimes I have to fix the chat, to be honest, because YouTube has a way that it filters out chat messages. And so sometimes it says Top Chat. Now I have to remember to change that to Live Chat so that I can get all of the chat messages. But basically, yes, I can see everything fine right now. But that is exactly why I have this box up, and I have used another program to stick it on the screen so that it will not move. Which let me see. When you get your laptop, I mean, if you ever need some help doing anything like that, I can show you how to do that one day. But you need something called Power Toys, and it will give you a lot of features that you for the most part would not be able to use normally. But yes, I mean, this was just basically about water, because you know that I use copper cups and I have a copper water container that I use. I have not been drinking much else except water these last few days. So that is why I just want to talk about it. But yeah, this is probably the best way I have found to actually drink water from these copper vessels. Boil it, then let it cool down, then pour it in a copper vessel. Let it sit for about 8 hours, if not more than 8 hours. And you will notice that the taste is light. I don't know how to explain it. It is really, it just is refreshing. I will put it that way. But anyhow, thank you for coming, Jazz, and anyone else who's just watching. I think I'm going to end this live stream here. I just want to talk about that water. But thank you. Anyhow, oh yeah, and I mean, this is Etsy, but frankly, you can find deals on this stuff. You don't need a container that's too big. I think I paid, what, $20 or so for something decent, of course. I mean, they have all types of copper water dispensers and different equipment, which, truth be told, I mean, $65, I mean, considering that you will be using this for a very long time, that's not really a bad deal. That's a copper water dispenser. That seems really good, honestly. But I mean, it's always good to have something copper that you can put your water in, even if it's small. Apparently, a lot of this stuff is made in India. It will probably take a long time to ship, but this stuff seems to be of a pretty good quality. But anyhow, anyone who is drinking water, you may want to try this. But anyhow, bye Jazz, and bye anybody else. Hope you have a good night, or wherever you are. If it's daytime, then have a good day. May you be blessed, and farewell. Okay.